Hello everyone. We're here. It's South Breach time. Isn't that so exciting?
On
We're
a
gonna do some
Sunday.
South Breach on a Sunday. I know, scandalous. Pastor Pooble with you. Pooble doesn't have his microphone. He has his microphone on. He doesn't have a camera on.
I do, yeah. So we're just vibing.
Yeah,
Sunday afternoon.
We're gonna
Stroke
vibe today.
early evening. We're just
I've got a
vibing
sore
with some watch
throat.
partying.
We have a map for you today. Isn't that so
We
exciting?
do have a map video.
Look at this.
And we get to see what these maps are called in French.
Oh, that's true. Actually,
Personally, I'd never have known Clubhouse would be Clubhouse.
Yeah, that's true. Bank makes sense. Cafe Dostoevsky makes sense. Labo de Nighthaven also makes sense.
Frontier.
Yeah, what is repère? Is that lair?
It would be,
Repair.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be. Okay, interesting. Well, that's fun.
Either way, we're on Chalet.
Yes, we're on
We're
Chalet.
on the actual. Chalet's a French word, right?
I think chalet is a French. It would make sense.
The French word we stole.
It
Like
definitely
many other
feels
words.
like a French word. I mean, basically every word in English is stolen, to be fair.
Yep. Indeed, it is.
So looks like Penta are starting on the defense as well. We have the first match is going to be Penta versus Go Next. We know a couple of these Go Next players, Joe, but I mean, as for Penta, a completely sort of unknown quantity for us, you know. So
yeah,
it's going to be exciting.
I was literally going to ask, do we know anything on this current Panda team? Obviously, not the one from years back.
Yeah, 7 years ago. Or 6 years ago, sorry, 6 years ago.
God, 6 years ago.
Yeah, that's wild. To be fair, it's more like 6.5 now. In fact, more than that. Craziness. How did they do in the first qualifier? Should we have a look how they did?
Go on, man. We can have a peek.
So, but the way this works as well, by the way, is it's kind of a Swiss system. You need to get to the top 3, but if you lose 2 matches, you're eliminated. So that's the long and short of this. Let's see if I can try and find where Penta finished. A lot of teams played in that last one, like 90 something. Yeah, 98 teams.
That's a really good turnout for EU.
Yeah, it is. So I'm scrolling up the list. I don't quite see. Okay, Penta, they went 2-2. They beat Myth. They lost to Myth. They beat Gold Eagles. They beat Nordco, and then they lost to Quantum Esport. And then the team they're playing against beat NRK Squad, lost to Project X, although that was in overtime. Then beat Spirit Gaming Academy, and then lost to Mitsura Project, who I don't know who they are, but you know, that's fine. But yeah, this game is. I mean, this is going to be very, very interesting because you have teams like Project X, you have teams like Besiktas, Team Alpha. All of those didn't qualify, and instead you have Matchco, which makes sense, ITB Academy, which makes sense, and then Cloud Esport. And Joe, you'll be shocked to know that Cloud Esport is a team that includes ICOX.
But it's not the kind of Ice Force core, right? They're still Team Alpha.
Yeah, so it's Runner, Eco, Swaz, Arze, and ICOX. But it means that ICOX has been able to escape that first rounded curse that happens often in tournaments. You've actually qualified to an event. Isn't that so exciting?
Big for him. Still got to see if the remaining players on that squad
The game is
through.
live,
I mean, Team
apparently.
Alpha's strong.
3 minutes, or a bit less than that, actually.
Team Alpha's a strong team.
Yeah.
They've obviously had their hurdles over the years. They kind of struggled to get picked up for a while, and they finally did with Ice Force. And unfortunately, Ice Force then seemed to have dropped them.
Yeah, it is unfortunate for Team Alpha, because they had a run of 5 straight wins as well in the last qualifier, but then a 7-4 loss to M&M Academy, and then an 8-6 loss to Besiktas, who were just, 1-5-7 game away from qualifying because they were playing ITB Academy in that last round. So, Besiktas, they did very, very well last time out. Done Limited were also in the mix as well. Team Secret Academy. Who is on Team Secret Academy again? Anyway, there's a lot of strong teams, is my point.
Project X as well, only coming in 5th, I think is it.
Yeah.
They've gained somewhat like international attention. They had that match with G2 in the LCQs.
They did.
Didn't go their way. They were leading on Chalet for quite a bit.
I think it got to 5-2, something like that, but then G2 won 7-5. So you know,
unlucky for them. I'm sure they are still gunning to make it to South Breach. And obviously the big thing here as well is because those top 3 teams have already qualified from Qualifier 1, you won't have to play them. So
yeah,
in theory,
big 3 teams, Cloud Esport, I would argue, probably not up there in sort of the big 3.
Yeah.
Quotes, but you know, that's kind of where Project X, they still have the second qualifier as well to kind of stake their claim. As I believe, people, we're going to head into the match right now. Isn't that so exciting?
Indeed, we are. We've got a Maverick Grimban.
Oh, I think you are ahead of the feed right now, my friend. Hold on.
Gotta give me a timer then. Right, we'll
there we go. We'll get into
rounds. We'll get into rounds.
We'll get into rounds and then we'll do it.
Countdown.
Okay, there we go. Valkyrie has just been banned on the feed. So this makes sense, especially for Chalet, right? Maverick, you can do a lot of stuff. I'm thinking about the basement wall, especially. That's fairly normal Maverick territory, especially if you have things like a Kaida Bandit. And then Azami, Valkyrie makes sense. Grim is probably the only thing that's slightly strange there, Joe, but even still, it's not anything major.
I mean, Grim's good, right? Like, no one's going to sit here and say Grim isn't good. But we, again, like, as I have said repeatedly during this, like, whole season in, like, actual casts, like, we're in the shield meta. You should probably be banning a shield or hard forcing shield play every single one of your attacking rounds. And so far, we've not seen a shield ban or a shield pick, obviously. We've got that repick. So that's something that can be brought in, but if we're not seeing Go next, like, bring a Monty, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed, a little bit peeved, because you've left that selection open. Please just use it. Such a powerful operator that gets so much value for doing almost nothing. So we should really be using it, especially because the second qualifier is also the last qualifier. So these next sort of 24, 36 hours, however long it takes, is your last chance to get to those LCQs and actually qualify to South Breach. So you should really be taking it kind of seriously, and so far I'm not seeing a shield. And I'm a little bit annoyed, I have to admit already. I've already been tilted. It's not even a round has gone by.
The thing is, it's top floor as well. Probably one of the more common sites for shields. You could possibly argue, obviously not quite bar gaming, but even still, it's a very strong site for shields. This is kind of I mean, we had this criticisms during the ESA Cup cast we did on Tuesday, right? It was very much the same sort of gripes that we had with some of the teams there, and okay, that's very, very close. Shire needs to be careful, and indeed has been taken out by Shinny. I just realised we still haven't synced here, Joe.
You're like a second or a half a second ahead of me. Shinny's about to kill this Warden.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he didn't win that, but there is a trade. So Penta aren't fully out of things yet. It's still at its 3v4, but they're on the defense. So things are certainly doable for Penta here, but I'm really liking the pace that Gonex are bringing here, and they've still got Shinny up, and he's been finding these opportunities. So it's looking pretty decent.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I've just screen shared you the projector source as well, so you can see where the live feed is. I'm just watching it from OBS for today. Oh, that's a very close engagement there, though. Aizen nearly gets one, but Raiden actually taken out Cafe. So a 2 versus 4. That nade isn't going to get caught by any form of denial. Nice kill though from Minz as Shinny pushing forward, perhaps too aggressively, but Raiden has been able to plant the diffuser. it puts Penta in a difficult position now. They have to try and push forward, but they're in a disadvantage in terms of the player count, and you do have low HP on these players, Scoppy especially, just 41 points of health. And again, that time is ticking down. They're having to clear all of these angles. They don't have intel. And yeah, the round goes to way of go next, which is kind of what we'd expect in that situation, and kind of what I'm expecting all the way through is that go next look fairly strong here, because again, this is a team that we have seen compete near the top. Let's not forget that Make Your Destiny roster that, you know, has had some of these players on it, you know, Radiant, Janoski, Eisen specifically. We know that they can compete at that very top level. We just need to see them actually get there. But again, these quals are so difficult to actually get across the line, because only 2 losses and you're out. And in fact, one of the teams.
From the side of the attack. So I'm still waiting on Cam to be alive again. Oh, no?
Yeah.
So, I just don't know if this is just their internet, or if it's their Discord. So
my internet just throttled itself again there for a second.
If it's through Discord, hello folks. Round 2, Penta Club versus Go Next. This is the first round of matches for the day. First of probably 4. So...
yeah, hi, Discord decides to keep throttling
was it?
itself.
So was it Discord?
Well, I'm having a horrible time with my internet. We'll have
is it your internet or is it Discord?
It's that time it was my internet. Although for some reason OBS is streaming at 500 more kbps than I'm telling it to, so that's probably not helping in the slightest. I've got 120 on the clock right now.
Oh, yeah, I'm at like 1 minute.
Sick.
Let's go. We love tech issues.
I love technical problems. Yeah, I mean the basement site right now, these players, they spotted Outshire on the Warden, and the push comes in from Radiant. Now 30 seconds left, diffuser in the hand, planting up against that hard wall, has to cover the cross from Ranker, making sure that no one can attack onto the diffuser itself. And now the 2 players left alive, there's at least 1 back, but again, low HP on these players. Mins is taken down inside of blue. It's a 1 versus 3 for Shire, and this one does not look like it's going to be a winnable situation anytime soon. The players up above, the players onside the breach as well, and now comes the death mark. Spotted inside of blue, the Deimos is going to know, but instead it's Ranker from outside of the breach to shut things down.
Okay. Is there like any chance you can get more up to date, because you're like 20 seconds behind?
I can go live, there we go. I think it was the Discord screen share of all things that did it, which is absolutely fantastic.
Makes sense. It seemed like there's still a bit of throwage occurring, but it's a better step forward for Penta. Just need to play more aggressive and very, very passive. That's a great way to start it. Already getting the opener.
That is indeed a fantastic way to start. Something that I don't think we've seen yet from Penta, which is actually finding the opening kill. But it's all about converting it, really. You still have 1 player out on the roam, Shire inside a Solarium, but we're fairly isolated from where the rest of the push is coming in. So, I mean, realistically, it's still kind of a 4v4 actually on the site. And Scoppy might get caught out here because they actually have no idea that Eisen's pushing down these stairs, but Eisen cannot get the catch.
Yeah, that's a really big, because that's still utility that can be used to potentially stall out Eisen. You could even dare to stall out the wall here, but with presence around that main stairs, you probably think better of it. The hatch being opened as well. Again, so much pressure being provided onto this site. They know Shire is still up there, but he's not really done that good a job of wasting time. I mean, sure, he's alive. He could come out for a late kill, but Gonex have just kind of acknowledged that there's probably a guy on that side of the map, and they're just ignoring it and doing the rest of their kind of check work here. Eisen's so close. If Eisen gets killed here, this could be a massive swing for Penta, but he just dips away. Gonex are playing this really well.
They absolutely are. The C4 prepped by Scoppy, but instead it makes its way over towards the breach. It looks like, nope, sorry, that was just a Zoto canister. Even still, just a little bit of stall coming through. Shire's not really doing much right now. Still just slowly sneaking on forwards, but no one is watching this anymore. And in fact, there could be a catch inside the fireplace. Indeed, there is. Janoski going down, and the C4 finally gets its mark. Radiant now has to push in through the breach. That's one nice kill at least, reading the angle perfectly. And Shinny with another. Now down inside of blue. Kaf has been taken down. Hang on a second here, Joe. It's now a 2 versus 2. They have control of Wine Cellar. The death mark goes out onto the Wamai. They know that Minz is inside of fireplace. They still have no idea about Shire inside of blue. The diffuser has been planted though. That's going to be something more for Gonex. They might just be about to steal this round away. The pre-fire is coming in as well from blue. They know that he's there, and it was the only one left. Radiant with a triple kill in this round. I'm having a fantastic time. Why is... Okay, I'm going to stop streaming, try and get OBS to stream at a reasonable bitrate, because now it's 1,000 over what I'm telling it to do, which I don't understand.
It just wants a high-quality product out there. You can't be blaming OBS.
Yeah.
Right, you know, intentions. It's got heart.
Yeah, sort of. Not really. Okay.
Shitty ass fucking software.
I've started streaming again. Okay. Hopefully with that, my connection might be a bit more stable, but we'll see. I suppose a Sunday afternoon is not necessarily... Sunday afternoon is not necessarily the most convenient time to try and be streaming, considering it's on... I mean, I think though this is kind of going the way we expect though, right? Go Next just looks stronger right now.
Yeah, they've. I've really liked the pace they've been working with. Chalet, obviously not the largest map, but there's like a lot of little nooks and crannies that almost seem a little bit daunting for attackers to clear. There's a lot of harsh angles. It
does reward the pace. Like, this is a map where if you're playing an attack like Go Next to playing, it really, really rewards you. My god. There's low HP on two of these players now.
It's a map that kind of gets in the attackers' heads, right? Because there's just so many strong spots, right? Like library, stairs, like piano, like bathroom. So there's loads of really difficult spots to clear, but if you actually just take the plunge and you go for it, you can actually get a lot of map control really quickly, and that's what Gonex have been doing. I mean, they're basically in a 5v2 now. Cafe still alive. He still has the Nitro as well, so that doesn't really... His health doesn't really matter into that, because he can just play like play a little more scared and just throw the Nitro out. But still, they've gotten so much done. They just need to not sort of fumble at the final moment, and that's kind of easier said than done. But they've proven 3 rounds now they can win these rounds easily, and it's looking to be a 4-0.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, they even won out in that last round. What was it, 2 versus 5? And for some reason, we find ourselves in the basement again. The top floor has been reopened, and there are still 2 other sites which we haven't seen at all. In fact, it's just flawless from right now from Gonex. Like, Penta Club, please go somewhere else, because the basement has not worked out 3 times in a row. The top floor didn't work out either. I mean, everywhere is open for them right now, and they just keep going back to the basement.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
not
mean, literally
again.
all of the good standard sites, like your bar, like your kitchen, and we're just going.
Okay,
We're
bar
just
gaming.
going basement and top floor.
Bar
Finally,
gaming.
bar is locked in.
Woo! Thank God.
Finally, a little bit of normalcy has occurred. Because yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Like, even it seemed like they just haven't really had a clue how to do anything on that basement. Even when they're in such like a strong spot, they just lose. They just lose.
Yeah, which isn't ideal really.
You do probably want to win.
You probably do want to win, especially as like again the format is so brutal. You lose 2 matches, you're out.
2 best of ones as well, yeah.
Yeah, for best of ones too. And like even if you lose this first game, that means you need to get 7 in a row, and even then, there's a chance that you might not qualify, like we saw with M&M Academy in the previous qual. So all wins is the ideal. 7-1 is doable. Obviously, ITB Academy and Cloudy Sport did get that, but it doesn't always work out. Like a loss here, especially so early on, is pretty much game over. I feel like because again, you need to win 7 best of ones in a row. Obviously, split over 2 days, but it's not that ideal to be playing into that sort of pressure. And straight away, the opening pick yet again for Go Next.
Just the standard of this map, really. Penta getting outclassed in seemingly all parts of the round. Dropping like flies in the early game, and again, as you said, even when they're in a really solid spot in that 5v2, they still somehow find a way to lose. So serious improvements need to be made, and unfortunately, they're going to need to be made pretty rapidly. If they lose this map, they gotta hope to God they win the next 7. Again, really nice pace from Gonex. So kind of a lot of pressure, a lot of talking points being made on Panther, as they are the team that kind of should be winning these rounds just based on being on the defense. But Gonex are just doing a phenomenal job here, just reading into almost everything that Panther's doing. Really nice pace, really nice aggression, just outgunning Panther at every opportunity. So this is really nice from them, as it's already looking like the execute is getting planned here. Scrapey could potentially play spoiler here in kitchen, but he's still down to the basement. It seems like he wants to get in a more secure position, and Gonex just creeping ever closer to this site.
Yeah, they absolutely are. While they're on these stairs, might have some sort of catch with Noski and dips into Mudroom. That's not ideal because Eisen was there on the window. Shinny's also found one. It's the 2 versus 5 right now, making a 1 versus 5. Cafe, the last one left standing. That's a nice pick, at least for 1, but well, 1's all he'll get. Go Next, now 5 in a row here on Chalet, and again on the Chalet attack. It favours the attack inside more than most in the pool, but even still, you should be winning on bar gaming, you would have said.
You'd absolutely hope you'd be winning it, but it seems like this is actually just a classic kind of just skill def. Really, what else could you say? Godex 5 in a row. Only one of those rounds, I would say, has looked shaky. Meanwhile, Penta, they stumbled into an advantage once. Aside from that, it's been kind of hopeless for them. This might be a very, very quick qualifier for this team, unless they have some monumental change in performance, because it's getting to crunch time. 2 more rounds required for Go Next. 1 more round of this half, and then Penta get on the even more difficult side of the attack. So something's got to change.
Yeah. Honestly, we might be seeing a 7-0 here, Poobel.
I don't want to say it, but yeah, it's looking likely. It really is.
It's looking that way. Or at least a very, very dominant score. Speaking of dominant, though, Raiden, 10-1 right now with the KD, which is certainly quite something. Doing very, very well. I mean, Shinny has also been performing on this, but I mean the rest of the team, like Janoski's 1 and 2, but they haven't really had to step up into things because the rest of the team has been doing so well. Eisen 3 and 1, Shinny 6 and 3, Rank of 5 and 2, and then obviously Radiant with that 10 and 1, like I pointed out earlier. It's just all working out so well right now for Go Next. They're looking like a very well-oiled machine. And obviously I'm not sure whether that's because Penta aren't really putting up the biggest amount of fight, but it is still promising signs right now for a team that wants to at least try and make it sort of far. I think they went 5 and 2 in the last qual, and they're already getting this diffuser down. Cafe, are you aware of this? Yeah, pushing into the smoke, that should... hello? Hello? How? What? How have they let that happen? Yeah, it's a 5 versus 2. So this is the best chance they got, and Cafe's actually defusing this. Okay, they're just going to win the round. What?
We finally got a round on the board for them. That's
What just happened?
That's something.
How...
Again, it does just seem though like it's Penta just stumbling into these good situations. There's not really much good work being done on their behalf. It's more like Go Next just make a silly mistake. And that's what I'm kind of concerned about here.
Yeah, but at least it's not a 7-0, right? You know, that's a...
At least they got something. I mean,
check in the double column, I suppose.
It's not really gonna matter how dominant a loss it is, though, right? This isn't a group stage. This isn't a league. This is one single Swiss stage where the only thing that matters is your wins. So ultimately, Penta, if you get a couple rounds on the board now, you know, that's wonderful for your mental maybe, but that's no concrete kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, I think the only reason
advantage.
The only time round diff comes into it is if there's a tie in the Bouchol score,
which is the third tiebreaker, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we have points, Bouchols, and then round diff. Well, I say points, number of wins, obviously. But yeah. It's still not a fantastic way in, let's say. Although, I mean, Go Next, you can tell they're confident. Going for the spawn peaks, all of that. You can see why. 5 and 1 on their attacks. They should be looking to close out this game realistically 7-1. You play primary, secondary bomb site, and then that's your fill. And obviously, there is a chance that Penta now activate on their own attack, so win all 6, win 7-5. It's the greatest comeback known to man. I don't foresee that happening, but you know, one can dream, I suppose. It sounds like Pooble's just been attacked. He's fallen out of his chair.
It's my chair, bro. My chair just like sounds like it's in the process of breaking at some points, and it probably is. I think I just heard a screw fall out, so pray for me. Pray for me, guys. We got another opening pick from Go Next. This time on their defenses. Quickly traded, but
they don't
traded again twice over. So again, no matter what Penta do, you can't seem to find anything, and now it's a 1v3. We've got one pick.
Yeah,
one pick from Kaffa. So that's something. It could have been a 1v4. Now it's actually a 1v2. Okay, okay. Go Next. Maybe getting a little overconfident here, but I love to see that, right? Immediately dropping back. They don't care if Janoski gets finished off. They've still put in the work for most of this round. A 2v1 should be pretty easy to secure.
Especially now that they're sitting on the site as well, but they look to be in isolated positions, at least isolated from this sort of vertical. If there's some information that can go the way of Cafe, they might be able to find a good pick. Now hacking the cams as well, but doesn't have any drones left in pocket, so relying on teammates and pre-placed bulletproof cameras perhaps to try and find the positions of these remaining defenders. Bulletproof camera inside a fireplace, now being taken out as well, providing some information to Penta Club, but also Go Next, and they would be aware of the position on the mezzanine. Now takes the drop. Should be heard. The audio cue given away. Flashbangs out over the top of the bar. Now pushing in. It doesn't land. Cafe with 1, but Shinny shuts it down. The crossfire established, and Go Next on that point.
really, really good teamwork there. You know, for a second, you think, oh, they might have beefed this because he misses his shots, he gets taken out, but they play that 2v1 to perfection. Both swing at the exact same time. There's actually physically nothing that Cafe could do there. So really well done from Go Next, showing that even when their individual ability might lack in some situations, their teamwork more than makes up for it. As they've reached map point, they are one round away from winning their first round of this second qualifier. So really, really good spot for them.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, let's not take away from Cafe though. That was an incredible, like, NT of all of the NTs. I feel like inside of that round. It's just unfortunate. Sometimes you're just forced to go into a crossfire, and at that point it's curtains. Like the only thing that could have happened there to help is if both players whiffed, if they get the like most insane transfer you've ever seen in your life. But unfortunately for Penta, that doesn't happen. Just they gave Cafe just a bit too much to do inside of that one, and now, well, they have as a team quite a lot in front of them. 5 rounds in a row required to take us to overtime. That doesn't even guarantee them the win, but at least they would survive for a little bit longer. And Shinny's up close on this bar window. Could potentially get a catch onto Shire, who's droning himself in right now. But the players opening up windows above as well. It's quite a scary situation. Just preps the C4, waiting for the jump in on the window. That should be a fairly audible sound cue as well, just waiting for that exact moment. There's the pop of the Q mine, and there's the pop of the C4. Only downing Scoppy right now. But I don't know if there's a possibility that they can get picked back up. Instead, the opening kill comes through from Raiden onto WoW. Player still downed and able to cross. Might be in for a couple here, but Mins is covering on this window. Raiden doesn't get too aggressive. I like this. Now just clearing these angles, but might not be aware, just slips one bookcase closer. And as long as Raiden is here, the player cannot be revived as Janoski finds a kill downstairs.
Just full control for Go Next in this round. Finally, one of these Go Next players gets a little bit too antsy, but it's instantly traded. A phenomenal round played there. They knew from the get-go they would be in the advantage. Really nice play with the Nitro. Really nice play overall in this entire map. Go Next. They have won their first map of the qualifiers. I believe it's 4 maps today, right? There's 8.
I believe so. At least in the last call, it was 8 rounds. I think.
Yeah.
It depends on how many teams there are. I'd imagine it's a fairly similar size, though.
Yeah, probably like 4 today, 4 tomorrow, 4 today, 3 tomorrow.
Something like that. Yeah. So yeah. I mean that was a very good. That's a very good result though for the side of Go Next. That they did exactly what was needed of them. Realistically, they just got a nice quick win. They're gonna just be still ready, still quite fresh heading into the next round. You know, everything works out well for them, people.
Yeah, there was only that one round where they seemed to maybe jump the gun a little with that defuse, which they lost. But aside from that, it was just complete domination. Go Next certainly showing a strong performance initially. They've still got a lot of matches ahead of them, probably 6 or 7 over this qualifier. So they can't get too comfortable yet, but a really nice way to start. Just a great first step forward. Should hopefully lead to more results throughout this qualifier. As for Penta, it's not over yet, but they've got a gauntlet ahead of them. They've got to win 7 in a row.
They're sort of dangerously close to getting eliminated very, very early on. Penta in the last call as well, they lost their first game and then their 4th game. So eliminated on the first day, that fate might befall them again. We're going to head it to a break. I don't quite know what game we'll have next, but obviously we need all of the results from this first round to come through. So it's going to be a bit of an extended break, but when we do eventually come back, the second round and the second game will be on your screens.
City, rushing through
Welcome back, everybody. We're here. Game 2 is finally here. Jeez Louise, it took a while. Still past room people. Woohoo! Yippee! This time the game, though, is INF taking on Owned Esport. Two teams that we actually know, Booble.
Indeed. We, for those who missed it, we had Penta Club versus Go Next in the first map.
Fairly dominant.
So, yeah, it was a very, very one-sided map of Chalet. Maybe we're going to get a bit of a closer one this time, as it is going to be a run back of the same map.
Yeah, indeed. We have the map veto here.
Two teams that we think should be much more closely matched, right? Like, it shouldn't be anywhere near as big a blowout.
Surely not.
Surely
not. Well, you can see here the map veto. INF have chosen to start on the defense. It makes a lot of sense. Nighthaven Labs and Skyscraper made it very close to the end there, which is kind of a surprise because we ended up on Chalet, which is a very sort of standard map, I suppose you could call it.
I mean, even Lair got to the second half, right? That's pretty good for Lair standards.
Guess neither team wanted to be the one to sort of waste a ban, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, Cafe out early. I'll always back that.
Yeah, that's fair. Thank God.
Yeah, Club not making it as far as particularly Nighthaven in best of ones, especially like is pretty baffling. Usually, you just want to play safe. Obviously, if you do think you have a map like Nighthaven in your pool, you could. Yeah, it's pretty nice to be able to bring it out in a best of one, catch your enemy off guard, and hopefully lock in an easier win. But it's just such a big risk, especially with Sky, particularly. I think a lot of teams really overestimate how good they are at Sky. And it leads to a lot of really bad attacking rounds.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Thankfully, though, no Skyscraper right now. Instead, Chalet. The teams as well, then. Owned Esport, obviously, we know at least a couple of players on here from previous iterations. Zialak, Balu, Carnage as well. And then INF, we have one times Community LAN winner, Lumen Neon.
Hey!
My goat.
Goat indeed.
They had a pretty good win on Bank, I believe, 7-4 in their first game. As well. I'm just trying to find the match result for Owned Esport now, but there's a lot of teams in this tournament right here. Yeah, there we go. A 7-4 win for INF over Secret Powder. That was indeed on Bank.
Do we have like a precise number of teams that signed up for this qual and turned up? Because it was 90 for the first one, right?
It was 98, I believe, for the first one. Owned Esport themselves got a 7-5 win against Esports Dove, who I haven't heard of before. That was also on Chalet, so back-to-back Chalets for Owned Esport. They did get a win, 7-5, so they should be feeling pretty comfortable with that. It's 47 matches, so from that I'd guess either 93 or 94 teams, depending on if one team got a bye or not, which I'm just about to find. Nope. 94 teams right now. So even still, pretty good turnout yet again.
Yeah, I mean, if you consider that we're 3 teams can't compete because they're already qualified, right? That's 97. So that's basically as many teams as the first qual.
Yeah.
You just factor in the winners of that qual not being here. So really nice showing, actually.
And I feel like there's probably some teams today that couldn't compete last time and vice versa. But yeah, even still, a really good turnout, especially for Europe. This is the sort of turnout that you expect from more of an NA tournament. But
yeah, definitely.
I've gone blurry. Wonderful.
That's why you just don't have your camera on. It fixes all those problems.
There we go.
I can just lean back and have terrible sound quality, but it doesn't matter. I'm chilling. I'm chilling as much as I possibly can on this chair, but still chilling.
Yeah. Just another look at that map veto then. It's Cafe, Border. Again, I'm glad to see those two out early.
Yeah, I'll never complain about for the Cafe Border being banned first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not very pleasant. That's why you get parents, shall we?
That's silly.
Imagine get Black Dragons at a major and not the world champs.
That is insane. And a blitz ban gone straight away.
That's the Lumen difference right there. That's the Lumen effect.
That is the Lumen effect. I mean, we were at that community LAN. We saw Lumen on Team Blitz actually take
He
the win
knows
there.
his power.
Where is the beautiful Pooble, Ergon? That's a great question. Where is the beautiful Pooble?
I'm here. I'm here, folks. I'm still here. Ying ban as well. So the two kind of most
army. Makes sense.
The two frustrating blindness operators have been taken away.
Yeah.
Monty's still up there. That's the big thing. If I'm not seeing Lumen, the IGL warlord himself, calling for Monty every round,
guys. However,
I'm saying we heard Lumen coming with a bunch of strangers. He was taking firm control of that team, and he IGL'd them to a win. A Blackbeard was floated there for a couple of seconds, quickly swapped off of.
Misclick, perhaps?
Potentially. I mean, it wouldn't matter anyway, right? You got the replay. Yeah. If anything, I remember talking to a few people about this on Twitter. Is there anything you kind of want to just pick a bunch of ops you're not going to pick, so that if you need to swap around roles and repick, it's a lot easier? Like if you want to swap your sledge player to someone else because of a different execute, like the sledge players want to like hop onto something else and do all that stuff. You can just pick a bunch of like meaningless operators and just swap to your actual comp.
Yeah, that's very.
Just a bit of micro play.
Some genius level thinking coming out of Joseph Pooble, which is of course your full name.
It is, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's. If ignore Wikipedia, it lies to you. It says some fake news, but we all know that his surname is really Pooble.
6 sets of nades on owned, by the way.
Oh, jeez, that is. They're hoping to deal with the utility then, and something that we don't. I mean, let's face it. Wamai and Jaeger have kind of fallen out of favor as of recent. So
I really don't know why. I get like. Obviously, Jaeger sucks, right? I'm not going to sit here and try and pretend Jaeger is not a bad operator who's just been, like, not really compensated with a buff after so many nerfs. But, like, losing the ACOG, I don't think is that big a deal for Wamai, right? I think the MP5K is still really good. I think it's kind of just a massive overreaction. I guess the meta has kind of leaned away from a lot of nade spam because you have shields, but I still didn't get it, to be honest, as we've seen. A really fast push, and already just basically almost annihilating everyone on this top floor. There's a bit of a response, but they've scared them away from the site. That's the big part, and now they can already start just pointing their guns towards the actual objective itself. It's another very fast-paced push. We saw a lot of them in the first map.
Oh no, Lumen! His Rift is opening.
Oh
shots
dearie
there.
me!
Zealak takes the kill. The Carnage is still fairly low on HP. The Thinker heal did come in, and the effect of the Frost Mat now removed. But a nice C4 from Single, taking out Mash. That's bringing things slightly back. And again, the HP doesn't look fantastic for the players on the side of Owned Esport, but they have the advantage. They can work together, and with those Thinker heals as well, the last of those now used up, should be able to get themselves into a winning position. The track onto Single as well as the E1D comes roaring through. Means that positionings will be known inside a connector, but maybe not Huna inside of the site, and indeed not. Carnage going down for the first, and now looking immediately towards the second. Zealak just a little bit better, though, in that engagement, and leaves things onto Single. Gonna have to hope for a 4K. Has the yellow ping, but is not quite aware of the slight reposition, and the shots coming from those blue stairs. Oh, there's the first. nearly trying to find the second, nearly caught out there as well, but repositioning, relocating. Doesn't know that the player is already inside of the bar, I believe. Now the red pings come on in. They're going to be aware. They're going to know pre-fire's not landing, and only 20 seconds still. No diffuser. It's just going to have to be a one-on-one gunfight, and Zielak wins it out.
Got very, very close though. I mean, you look at the start of that round, you saw how successful Owned were, and the few chances that it seemed like INF had weren't really capitalized on. We saw Lumen heartbreakingly miss those shots, but just a couple really good isolated plays from those defenders on the actual side itself almost made that a round win. Own still walk away with it. It's still in the first round, so plenty to go, but it was a really nice start and a really nice kind of stabilization from Own there in that round. And as for INF, they gotta not die. I mean, what else can you really say? They gotta not die immediately. Have some kind of a bit more focus in those split off positions. You know, particularly how quickly Library fell. I think you just pay a bit more attention to those common entry points, and you actually try and put up a fight, because they just seem to be completely caught off guard, to be honest, at last round.
Yeah, they did. And we know that, especially from that previous match, that a good pace is rewarded here on Chalet, at least for the attack it is. And really saw that come on through. It was explosive from Owned, but it was measured. They knew what they were doing. They had all the information. Enabled them to just get a really, really nice pick there. Or two picks, realistically. And yes, the trade came in, but they still had that advantage. Looking for the same thing here, but it doesn't quite come as quickly. Drone still gathering up information. 3 of them shot away already, but that still leaves 7 up and available, which is good news for the side of Owned Esport. They're not having that utility disappear too fast, but even still, they might find themselves lacking in intel when it comes towards the end of the round. Lumen has gone for a run out. Ill-advised though, shut down immediately by Zielak, who continues their tear from the previous, and now the Montaigne running on in. There's a crossfire established, and Howley has found 2. JFK does respond, but even still it's a 4 versus 2.
Just another real... It's almost scarily identical to that previous round where INF have once again been completely kind of caught off guard. This time it was Howley who just completely annihilated them. He has been taken down, but you've got Value on this shield just causing a lot of pressure. He unextends, doesn't matter though. The one of those players gets the kill, and to finish off, Owned again, just so strong, so confident in their push. But crucially, INF were again caught off guard. There's been no real improvement from round to round. These are both teams that are on 1-0 records, so this isn't like an elimination match, but still, it seems like INF, if they don't fix something soon, they're going to be in a really bad position heading into that half swap, because it's going to be even more difficult. They need to get rounds on the board on the defense, like as soon as they can, because otherwise you're just going to be staring down the barrel of a really hefty round disadvantage, and then you know, you might have some thoughts about what if you lose this map, and that could add even more pressure and make the play even worse. So they need to just stop all this now and really sort of start performing here, because they've been outclassed 2 rounds in a row now.
Yeah, they absolutely have. It's not a good look at. It's scarily familiar to the previous match that we saw as well between Penta and Gonex, which, you know, we said, oh, this should be a closer competition, but right now it feels like Owned Esport. They are thoroughly controlling the game and running the ship, realistically. JFK going for something cheeky inside a library, but no attacking players spawning over there from Owned. They are instead on the other side of the map. Early attention being paid to this breach as well, with no denial to speak of. No Bandit. Obviously, Kaid banned away, but no Mute either. That's as free as you like. Already in the first 30 seconds, the breach has been opened up. And that's going to be something INF. They now have to focus over to that side. They can't just ignore it or it will hurt them. But again, there's no wall denial, so this wine cellar wall can now be opened up in towards the car garage and trench, and boiler is now being opened up. It feels like a very, very strange defense. Yeah, sure, you've got Romans, but Owned Esport, they can just go direct to the site.
Yeah, no. This is a setup where you need to be quite in the face of the attackers for your roamers, and instead they're playing a much more kind of passive roam, right? But that's already allowed entries into the site, and they've already got a pick as well onto Lumen, who is actually off the site. So now the defense have lost one of their roamers. The other two are getting tracked and chased by a Monty, although JFK could maybe get away with a very cheeky pick. The shield here is going to be the big problem. He can't afford to swing out here, so it's going to be a test of patience. But still, INF again on the back foot.
Yeah, rewarded though for the patience. JFK. And oh, the second onto the Montaigne as well. Suddenly, this round has gone from looking very dire to very, very winnable. You still have Nina upstairs. I don't know if Carnage is aware. Those shots should give the game away. But Zielak is also very low on HP. Just 23 points of health to his name, which is, well, certainly not ideal. Not the player planting though. Mash stunned out by Fenrir. The push on through though. Zielak low on HP, still finding frags. A response. Single. Carnage going down. Now a 3 versus 2. Nina still possibility to flank as well. The drone hole catch is brilliant. It leaves Mash in a 1 versus 3. Still has the diffuser, but no teammates to cover this plant. Just has to try and bait things out. Or, in fact, might just stick it. No one's going to be there in time. Now, where do you go from here? The hatch still open above. Has to try and leave through one of these breaches. And instead, the player upstairs is going to be aware of this as inside a dining room. The sound cue as well, but they've given away control of the hatch. This is actually suddenly incredibly winnable. Up on the plant pot, I don't think they know, I don't think they're aware, but Nina just about gets that before things get dire. INF with their first round, but it's certainly got a bit closer than it should have.
Yeah, again, it's another case of a round that looks to be really winnable suddenly gets shaken up. Luckily for INF, they do finally convert on this. They get this round win.
Yes, they do.
I can't give them too much credit though, right? Owned, I would say there was a real big blunder there. There was the misdrone, obviously, and you can kind of accept that. But I have no bloody clue how Bali's getting killed there as well on the Monty. There was no attention put towards that Fenrir at all after he gets that first pick. And stuff like that, you just can't really let that stand, to be honest. That was
they got
a really poor show.
Very, very quickly. So it's almost like, well, why is it taken them so, not taken them so long, but they had probably the biggest advantage they've had in all of these rounds in terms of the actual positioning, but they let their opening slip away from them.
Yeah, still, round on the board for INF. They've got something, they need more though. I don't really got to learn from that round. I think that round showed they were maybe already getting a little bit too complacent. They were already thought that INF wouldn't want to do anything, so INF, a bit of aggression there, and well, too much aggression this time.
That's not great.
What can you really say? I mean, taking that
I don't,
with the...
Yeah, I don't necessarily mind the idea, but I mean...
It is a choice, I'll give him that. It's
weapon,
a choice, isn't it? A particularly good one. It's given another man advantage here. Not a good showing at all, to be honest, this round. I do like that we're seeing the LMG every round though. I'm a big LMG fan. This time it's Carnage. Not got any picks yet. Could be the round he does it. His gun's nuts. But JFK might be even more nuts playing so close to that window. As it seems, my dear co-caster has had their Discord crash. I don't know if that's an internet thing. I've been told to just keep talking. It appears my dear co-caster is back here.
Yes.
Still no kills going the way of INF here. In fact, finally. Nina gets incredibly aggressive. A pick. Honestly, they shouldn't have gotten, but Balu just a couple whiff shots there. And somehow it's now even again. Owned in a real good spot and just couldn't really convert off of it yet. And things are now getting even worse as we've got another one, Single, getting a pick on the Howie.
Yeah, 2 HP though on the Single, which, you know, isn't the best situation to be in. Very easily could become a 3 versus 3, and with the overheals from the Thinker as well, should hopefully embolden Owned to take a few more gunfights, but well, that certainly doesn't seem to be the case right now. Instead, they're still holding their angles. This advantage that they had is now falling away. They're back on their full HP, and they're back in this disadvantage again. Another heal is popped. There's the kill onto Single, and the diffuser's getting planted. Zielak with another. The cover on the plant is working to perfection as there goes another. The player on the window keeps finding the frags, and it leaves it all onto JFK in a very, very difficult spot. You're going to have to try and get something massive here. The player on Repel might be read here by JFK, but instead it's Zielak from the hatch, raining death from above. And Owned get themselves the 3rd round on the board.
I mean, how are we allowing the attack even to get in there? Like, what's INF doing? One of the main strengths of Bar Gaming is that the only kind of easy access is a window, and a window forces you to vault in. That's a massive sound cue. It's a massive limitation on your movement. It's really predictable. You just have a player in storage, and you can just easily swing on that guy and kill him. And yet, there's just no one there. INF, yet again, a good position heading into this kind of final execute, and then they just find a way to mess it up entirely. Owned, this should be an even game. This should be 2-2. Owned can consider themselves really lucky though, because there is no possible chance they should have gotten that plant down, gotten into the site, but INF just kind of let them in. I really am confused as to what the game plan was there. Why, when that man count on the side of the defense started getting lowered, why was no one instantly rotating to be on site? Instead, they played for a retake on one of the hardest spots in the game to retake. Just a very, very, very baffling round there. I mean, congrats to Owned, I guess, for making the most of that situation, but INF, just another mistake resulting in another round loss.
Indeed. Well, I'd say a 3-3 half for Owned is already kind of a victory, right? Maybe you would argue that's potentially what's standard. Chalet, again, leaning more towards the attack than maybe some of the other maps in the pool, but still a 4-2 half for the defense, you would argue, is still fairly familiar and a decent place to be, but instead INF find themselves with 3 as their maximum, and that's if they win these next 2 rounds in a row, something that we haven't seen from them. In fact, well, they only have the 1. So a big switch up is needed. Lumen, I'm surprised he's been able to get back to the site there, to be honest. Player proned on the exterior, I believe that might be Zielak. Just can't quite get the catch, the DMR. A bit of a difficult weapon in those sorts of gunfights. You can't spray. You have to rely on your first hit being very, very accurate. And again, the opportunities missed. Just moving a bit too fast there for the kill to be confirmed.
Yeah, a real a lot of sloppy coverage of these cutoff angles. Twice now we've seen a defender get into a much stronger position when they really shouldn't have. Still, Owned haven't lost a body as of yet, so that's already a good thing. They haven't really got much either. They're just lurking around these windows. They've certainly managed to get control of Library, but it was kind of given to them. INF retreating away. And they still need to take control of this top floor and then convert that to a kitchen attack, when with only just over 60 seconds left. They're playing this awfully slow, awfully risky. It might all be on Carnage to make a bit of a mess up from those basement stairs. They've got one breach, but I don't know if that's low enough to be a crouch or if they're going to have to vault in. And as we were pointing out in that last round, vaults are not particularly a good movement option, and instead Single just swings it. Okay.
Yeah, and
okay.
somehow loses that fight. More kills going the way of Owned. It feels like yet again we have a capitulation here from INF. Lumen at least gets one, but now they know he's above, and the 1 versus 4, it's not going to be the easiest. Cielac full sprint, doesn't matter, the SMG-12 just has the bester against the UMP up above, and Owned Esport find themselves around where realistically I feel like they shouldn't have.
Or INF just trying to lose? Like,
okay, well,
I don't know. I'm being deadly serious here. Why are they all swinging there? There's no the execute itself hasn't even started yet, and they all just go for these random swings. It's like they've all been told, right, it's time to lose this round. Like, what did I just watch? Genuinely, Owned were playing such a slow round. It seemed like they shouldn't have had anywhere near enough time. Then INF just lose all their gunfights. Even worse, they went for unnecessary gunfights on top of losing them out. Truly, truly bizarre. Really is.
Now the half is won by Owned as well. We've got another Monty. And again, I feel like the last time, the one round INF have, which obviously was on this site, it still wasn't like the best showing from them. If Owned Esport do the same thing again, I will be very upset, because they were in a very, very strong position. I feel like even stronger than the round we just saw in round 5. It was looking very, very good for them. And then they let JFK find a double upstairs, which just it just shouldn't have happened.
Did you just hear a bunch of like device connected sounds? I can't tell if that was on the feed. I don't know if there was something like plugged in my computer that's like unplugged itself. Because I just heard like 6 like device unplugged, device plugged sounds. I think that was just a me thing. I don't know if that was coming from the clean feed. So my computer's just falling apart. Anyway, another quick breach. Again, they just. Oh.
I could see that you were speaking on Discord, but I wasn't getting any sound.
Nice. Let's hope streamer's getting sound. It's another round where again there's no breach denial whatsoever. Like Owned can just open that main breach very, very quickly.
Discord is just throttling right now. This is incredible.
Nice.
The stream hears you fine, but I am not getting much of this at all.
Well, I'm just complaining at INF not learning from their past rounds. It seems like Owned also almost not learned from that round, though. They aren't just immediately going for that split pressure. They're instead playing a bit slower. They've not brought the ace this time. This seems like a solution to a problem that didn't exist. They had a really nice composition into this defense last time. This defense is virtually unchanged, and instead they're going for a much wider take, which forces them to deal with these roamers that they just didn't have to last time.
And it's also taking a heck of a lot of time. 50 seconds left in this round, and we still find ourselves in a 5 versus 5. Again, it should be a position that INF are favoured, but we were kind of saying this in the last round, and then they decided to just swing everything. The C4 on that wall to create a rotation distraction. Hunter taking damage on the site, and Howley has found the first. A nice kill in response, though. C4 still in pockets. This diffuser is getting planted, and the kills come raining in for INF, but they still let this diffuser go down. Now Balu in a 1 versus 3 on this Monte, and it's going to be difficult, and the shots going wide from both players. Lumen, though, does secure the collection in the second round for INF Esports.
Finally, a bit of life being showed from INF, but still, I just can't shake this feeling. It's another one of those rounds where the opponent just dropped the ball. Like, Owned were presented with a very easy to take site there, and instead they played into the defense INF was bringing. They went out of their way to try and like engage with the rest of that map when they could just get a couple easy breaches on, force the defenders to actually like move back to site, and they just didn't do that. And then they had to kind of force a very rushed plan. Died to the Romers because they were all off site. So yeah, I mean, congrats to INF. You've won 2 rounds, that's something. You've still got to win 4 more just to get to OT, but it feels like another one of those rounds. We've been saying this quite a lot in this match, where the other team just kind of lost it more than the winner won it.
So, heading into this round, and I have no idea what Joe's actually said, which is
the Discord.
Fantastic. So,
Okay, what about now?
Okay, well, I can hear you, but we'll see whether that keeps happening, because there would be 10-second bursts where I could hear you fine, and then you'd cut out again. So, this is going great. Discord is trying its best to completely troll the broadcast. For those of you that weren't here earlier as well, every time I went to check Discord for something, it would also throttle my internet connection and the stream would crash. So
Nice.
it's going incredibly well so far. Either way, into this round, it seems again fairly slow from the side of INF. They're making sure they have the ground that they need, having a look at what they actually have available to them. Now the pressure's starting to come through on this top floor hold. Obviously, with the kitchen and dining, it's the top floor first, then transition your way down. The impact EMP onto that Dread Mine, the Montaigne as well, is going to mean that no defenders can actually capitalize on that near site effect. And in fact, they have to try and jump out. They go for one Claymore, not the second. Trade though in response. Nina falling into a 4 versus 4.
I really like that from Owned, realizing that they need to get some value out of that. Really nice from JFK though. I have no idea if I see a ping. It must be from some kind of drone intel. Yeah. Really, really nice pick there. Just a very aggressive play from Bali being punished. Luckily, this isn't a top floor defense, so there's still more work that has to be done for INF here. But another great kill from JFK is going to really help with that. Where was this INF side on the defense?
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like the attack certainly having a bit of a field day on Chalet so far, not just in this game, but in the one prior as well. Hunter with the kill, securing that collection. Nice pick from Howley to at least answer back onto the Montaigne as well. An impactful pick, but the fuse are now planted. Still 3 left to find. It's going to be very, very difficult. The drone's on them top floor. The last dock will be cool as well. There's no way that Howie is going to be able to hide. Position will be known. Movements telegraphed. And yeah, there is the kill. Straight away like that. Single closes out the round. INF, it's a much better look on the attacking side.
Yeah, I mean, they were proactive, they were confident, they were aggressive, they were hitting their shots. It was a complete far cry of what we saw on their own defenses. Luckily, Owned still in that lead because of that first half. Still plenty of chances to win this round, win this map even in quick fashion and win their second round of Swiss. INF, though, if this is the performance they're going to be bringing on the attacks, it could actually be a much closer matchup than we initially thought heading into round 7. Lumen once again that Monty, loving that. Love teams that are just unashamed to pick the Monty and realize how valuable that operator is. Capcam being brought could be the thorn in Lumen's side if he's not careful here, as a drone gets destroyed by a reinforced hatch. That is, I'm sure, not something the attack wanted to happen, not something INF were even anticipating, but nice little interaction there.
Yeah.
Lumen's off the Monty, never mind, I take back everything.
Boo. Monty for this one. Shame. It's a real shame. We love the shields. We even saw some fused shield last weekend. I mean, this is a bit more of a serious tournament. I feel like maybe we're going to get
just a tad.
There's always a chance. Mirror window going away early as well, thanks to the Ash charge of Hano, meaning some information given away. It's going to make the life of owned esport inside a connector a little bit more dangerous as well. It's all about FINF creating pressure, making sure that its owned esport are the ones that make mistakes, and it's INF the ones that find the kills. Single doing a good job of that so far. Mash going down on the cap can, but still those traps should all be down. And the drone spots out Balu as well inside of blue. Has to try and rotate away, but there's a player watching through trench as well. A very difficult spot. Zealak, though, with that kill, makes things a lot easier and might be able to find a second here. Oh, not quite. Hunter just a bit better. And a second kill as well. Balu goes for the trade, but instead shut down. Now 4 versus 2. INF in control here in round 8.
Yeah. Still potential for a couple cheap kills, right? Hunter and Single relatively low. We've still got an Nitro Cell and Pocket for Carnage as well, so there is the potential for things to go drastically wrong for INF, but they've got themselves in a really good spot. They should be establishing that library control. They, from there forward, can apply pressure to library stairs or just through the hatch into sight. There's
so many different avenues INF can do here. The hatch is closed, but they can also just buck around it. It doesn't really matter too much. Mirror window being cracked as well. There are very, very few ways that INF can lose this round, as long as they don't just do the dumb thing, or just piling into that window. And they just do it anyway and they win. Never mind, that's one. Only 2 now, as Howie does get a couple crucial picks, but the split pressure, too much for him to handle. As INF even things up 4-4.
Yeah, that they do. Pretty good round. A little bit of rollage at the end, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Everything works out, and now momentum perhaps going the other way. We saw, though, in the first half, basement. This is where the defense were able to find wins.
Indeed it was, but equally that was kind of down to a couple of misplays from the attack, and so far INF have looked very, very strong on their attacks, so it's a case of how owned choose to play around this site. We're seeing that Skopos shell, I believe, being placed in blue, so that's a nice bit of both intel towards the wine cellar site, as well as a potential pressure, the threat of you being able to hop out of that at any moment. But yeah, I'm really intrigued to see how this basement site really stacks up, because again, those last 2 times we've seen it, it has been not the greatest siege on display, I'll have to admit. It's been some real key mistakes coming out from the attacking team specifically.
Yeah, they have been. INF, though, like you said, they've been looking strong so far on this attack, at least. And again, there's not much in the way of wall denial. I mean, to be brought along this time. The Oss are in play here from INF, and the Tubarão as well should delay things a little bit, but no actual mute jammer on the wall, and it's not being rotated over either. His main breach will get opened up soon enough. The vertical above as well. Already very, very early with those boogie drones from the Ram. And Howie has been spotted out on this roam. The death mark notating the position to the attack. Certainly a good position for them. This first minute has gone by. They've established a lot of good positions and a lot of good control. It's all about converting on that now.
Yeah, Nina's just trying to get something out of this window. I like that Bali was just playing this slow.
What a kill.
Yeah.
And
another one
this
immediately after.
planting. They're planting on the site. Okay, there we go. Jesus, Louisa. That nearly got a little bit scary, but it's all fine. It's all good. The kills come in. I'm not entirely sure how they got the kill behind the shield. I guess just not planting in the correct position there. Bit of a misplay again from the attack on this side.
Yeah, another one coming out from INF though, and a 1v4. Okay, I was going to make a point of, owned kind of given the potential for success with that plant getting denied and how INF seemed to be rushing things a bit and gave their opponents an opening to win, and then they just clawed it right back. They just got kill after kill after kill. So here's the timeout. Here's where Own need to really figure out what's going on, what's gone wrong for the past 4 rounds in a row, because they had a really, really good, really, really strong first half, and all of that hard work has seemingly been obliterated here. 2 required for INF to win it out on their attacks that have looked so incredibly strong here. So the question for Own really is, what do we do? How do we fix this?
Yeah, that is the question. Part of it might just be in the kills department, perhaps. Taking smarter gunfights. Let's just say that, because I mean, let's face it, Owned have been. There's been a lot of silliness happening right now. Especially with, I'm thinking of the kill up on the top floor from Nina onto, I believe it was Balu, if I'm Malaysia. That's not really something that should be happening. Like, in my mind, the reason you play that position is to wait until you hear them vaulting in so that you can swing while they're in the animation. Instead, they just decide to poke their head out even further. Look out the window, and then the player's holding the angle on your position. You've been droned out. It's not really the smartest play. So I'm looking to see some more cerebral gunfights being taken here from Own, because I feel like they're not giving themselves the best advantage. Like, even still, INF might just wreck you, but at least give yourselves a chance.
Yeah, we're seeing the Scopus again. This time that shell being placed in the jacuzzi, so more things for the attack to at least worry about, potentially have to deal with. But INF have been a very kind of to-the-point attacking side here. They have not really struggled or gotten bogged down in roam games. They've been really sort of effective with where they entry from. Just seeing that default cam get taken up. So many entry points being kind of threatened as well from the attack here. We're seeing JFK opening up that trench door, opening up the trophy window as well, and all these players around library too. They're just trying to kind of flood the comms of Owned Esports with a lot of information, a lot of potential pressure, and just take advantage on one of these spots. And we're seeing its library single already in here. Howie trying his best, got that reinforced wall to hide behind, and even just wanting to swap to that other shell. So sure, they may have mezzanine control now, but it won't be off of a kill. Still map control though, and still allowing Lumen to safely push up with this Monty.
Yeah, continuing the march on forwards. There is a mute jammer on this wall, so it's not quite going to be the easiest thing to deal with. But well, when you have the impact EMPs, you can just take it away from that position. Makes things incredibly easy. Now a sightline opened up. It's a vault hole, so traversing through will be slightly difficult, especially with those long angles being held by the Owned Esport players from Master Bedroom. This is a lot better this time around, though, Joe. They're wasting a lot more time. We're seeing 1 minute 20 on the clock, still in a 5 versus 5. Perhaps maybe you'd like to see a pick by now if you're Owned, maybe just to sort of solidify your advantage. But even still, as the time ticks on lower, it should favor the defense more and more.
Yeah, but we see how explosive it could be in these final kind of 60 seconds. Still no pick, and Balu, he's seemingly trying to read into JFK, going for a late push through the trench. Instead, looks to be going on the repel, actually, with a Solarium. A last-minute switch-up of things could result in Balu kind of almost baiting the rest of his team if he stays down here. Either way, Howie gets one. It's the thing that Owned really want here. Unfortunately, trade out, but Howie gets another, keeping his team in this, but again, not for long. It's so many kills here, but INF finally trailing. Owned looking to put up their first round of defense. Balu's still below, but importantly, he's actually causing a bit of pressure this time, forcing the attack to take a bit more extra time. That could be exactly what Own need.
Lumen planting, the C4 coming out from down below. Now they know that player's position and they don't have the read on the vertical. Carnage upstairs. The final 2 picks shuts the round down. And like you said, Joe, Owned Esport finally get themselves a defense. And crucially, they tied the game yet again for us. It's 5-5 here on Chalet. And I don't know about you, but I'm excited by the very real potential of overtime.
Yeah, Owned seems like they've finally got their act together. Seems like they're finally going to be putting up competitive rounds here. As for INF, they seem to not let that last round kind of get to them. Just keep playing the game that won them 3 rounds in a row. They keep it with that. Like, sure, overtime might be a case, but really they should be winning this in regulation with how strong they played. On Board Gaming, if Own just allow INF to get in and plant again, then I'm going to be very, very annoyed because they had this previous attempt kind of won out almost. There was very little time, and then INF just wander in and plant and win, and I was very, very angry. So let's hope that Owned don't kind of repeat those same mistakes, because this should be one of their best chances to win here. I mean, Bar Gaming is kind of becoming more of a primary site here. Both these first floor sites really are massively favoured by teams nowadays. Yeah. So this is a really good opportunity to get to those 6 rounds first and really cement yourself as the lead in this game.
Yeah, I mean that's why I like Chalet. Realistically, it just provides so many opportunities. The site's constantly sort of switching which is favoured, and we do see all 4 sites as we have done just today as well. It means that you never quite know what you're going to get, and every site is viable and every team has their own different strats as well. The strat for INF in this round, though, doesn't include a Montaigne, which maybe you perhaps would have liked to see. Is very, very strong. Hello, Nanos, in popping into the chat.
Love the Nanos.
The breach comes on in. Very early aggression, actually. Oh, goes for the cam instead. That could have been the perfect opportunity to catch out Howie. Now the fire forcing back and a little bit spilling downstairs as well. Small amount of damage taken, but still falling back into a strong position, but control of library has been gained by INF.
Yeah, in very quick time as well. On top of these breaches towards site, and already that's yielded reward. Nina getting 1. It's on the mash. That's onto the cap can, so most of that utility should be placed down. Still, it's going to force a couple of rotations from Owned. They are really considering getting aggressive on this top floor. They don't want to be playing this passively, but it's also incredibly difficult to retake here with so many bodies above. It seems like Howie tries to go for it, but gets traded, but still, another player is up here, could catch the attack off guard, but instead, he's playing so slow. Nearly gets taken out there. You can see the spin come in. Zealot gets 1, and Balor gets another. 3v3 now as INF might have just choked away a hefty advantage. Yeah, it seemed like a bit of panic almost for INF there when things suddenly turned in that mid-round. We saw a couple real careless plays, dropping down into fireplace, trying to jump through windows. It seemed like they kind of lost their composure, lost their cool, and that's something they've really got to work on, right? Because the reality of rounds of siege is everything isn't going to go your way. You're going to have problems, you're going to have unexpected outcomes. The thing that really separates the good teams from the great ones is how you respond to those challenges, to those obstacles. And INF have shown to be good at that in some cases, but there was a real kind of weakness on display, right? We saw how they went from a very composed, very teamwork-focused, teamwork-heavy, room clear. The moment those 2 picks came in, they suddenly kind of separated, all went their different ways, trying to find something else in that round, and nothing came up good. So 1 round left. in this map potentially. If they don't win this, they are out of the map, not out of the quals as of yet, but they'll have to do the rest flawlessly, right? They'll have to win.
And the format is seven games, 4 today, 3 tomorrow. It's been
so they'll have to win 5, right? They'll have to win 5 in a row over the next 2 days. If they lose this map, yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of a lot on the stakes here for INF if they don't win this round. They could be in for a much more difficult kind of next 24 hours in that case.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. These are very brutal. They are in fact. INF very quickly. The C4 out over the top. Single, I believe you were safe. Just runs into the path of the C4. That goes a second as well. Doesn't quite catch. Lumen on the Montaigne with his pistol, finding one match though, and Zelak finding those kills. And the player down low as well. Cover not there. Neither is the game for INF. They attempted to go fast, but blew up in their face. Owned Esport, they take the dub.
Really sad. Really sad for INF there. They seem to be looking so much better on their attacks, and just a couple rounds don't go their way, and they completely collapse. I like the idea of that final round, just going fast, seeing if you can just put up numbers really early. Didn't work though. Unlucky for INF. Great play from Own there though. They had a really nice first half, and other things got a bit shaky in the second half. They recovered. They're still currently at 0 losses in the Swiss stage. 5 more required. Probably need to win the next 4 to be to consider themselves quite safe. Obviously, there's still a chance if they could go 6-1 and still not qual based on round difference and Bucol score, but aim for 4 more and ideally try and win the next 5 as well and go flawless. That would be your best chance of getting to those LCQs.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that again, we've mentioned before, the format is so brutal, but it means that you really do have to be the best of the best to qualify. And in fact, you go straight into the South Breach proper. In fact, if you qualify out from this, joining Matchco, ITV Academy, and Cloud Esport. At least those are the teams confirmed for now. Still opportunity for more. I don't know if you're speaking right now, Poodle, because Discord's been trolling the whole day.
No, I mean Tub of Heroes.
Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame for INF there because again they played it so close, but the timeout was at the perfect time. I feel like right for Owned Esport to get themselves a win.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of credit goes to whoever called that timeout. I don't know if Owned have a coach or if it was just their IGL deciding they need to kind of put the brakes on. But it was really nice. Whoever called it, whoever kind of said their piece, really effective timeout there, really got them back on track. Unlucky for INF because it looked like they were really formulating that comeback, but at the end of the day, that poor first half was just too much to overcome.
Yeah, they gave themselves a bit too much to do, realistically, and in that area of the game, and unfortunately they could only muster 3 attacks, which again we said is kind of where you sort of expect to fall. No overtime, no win for INF, and we're going to throw it to a break, but that's actually going to be our final game of the day. There's still 2 more matches. I'll find someone to raid, hopefully someone whose game is still ongoing. But if not, we'll find you some capable hands. Thank you all very much for watching tonight. We're signing off. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.